I'm going to try to sum up basically what's all been going on in my life and stuff within about 10 minutes. So my walk with the occult all started when I was about 6 years old, just getting these really weird nightmares, which progressed into lucid nightmares. And then when I was about 12 years old, those lucid nightmares progressed into, I would have a lucid nightmare, and then at the end of the lucid nightmare, I would be seeing these shadow figure beings in like a humanoid form, and that turned into, I'd wake up from those dreams in sleep paralysis. And once I started experiencing sleep paralysis, that started to really terrify me and give me a dread every day to even go to sleep. And that made me start to wonder, how can I protect myself? And I started to research into, my first thought was magic, all right off the bat, and then I started researching into various things with energy and stuff like that. Started out looking into like chakra systems, your basic stuff. Then I saw this guy on YouTube named Michael Grubb. He does lots of different demonstrations. And then I saw this video of this guy named John Chang, and he does this modality called Mopai Ni Kung. And there's videos of him on the internet burning newspaper with his hands and shit like that, all kind of weird stuff. And so I started researching those books, and that's when I actually started to really kind of get an accumulation of power and feeling that energy and stuff like that. Was when I started working with my lower Dantian. They don't really call it that in the Mopai Ni Kung books, but I Ching does, and there's many other names for the energy center they utilize. It's basically your solar plexus chakra, except for in the Mopai Ni Kung, they actually incorporate, they combine yin and yang. But anyways, I started researching into Carlos Castaneda after that, and that's, things got a little bit deeper for me. Oh shit, I almost forgot. Lester Crowley, before I got into Castaneda. I read all his books and shit. I didn't really like the ritual stuff so much, so I kind of kept it more energetic based. The Castaneda stuff in there that Don Juan, his shaman teacher, teaches him is more along the lines of manipulating that energy center that's around your navel, that strongest one, and doing stuff with it. So I started practicing a lot of that stuff. I started practicing stuff when I was about 16. Like I said, when I was 12, I started getting sleep paralysis and stuff. Once I hit about 16, I had fucking enough of that shit. And I was ready to change shit. And so I started playing around with stuff. When I was 18, I'm not going to get too deep into all of these different stories because I would be on here for too fucking long. I only have so much space on here, memory-wise, on my phone. But when I was 18, I had already, for like the past 2 years, basically been playing with my energy, and one thing I learned to do was how to make other people feel my energy. And there was an experience I had where I was having this one woman feel my energy. It was nighttime, we were in a backyard. I just had my hand over her hand, just feeling and stuff. That's how I usually did it. I would just have my hand over someone's hand. This time I decided I wanted to take it to the next level. I put energy on her whole body and shit. And I don't want to get into all the mechanics and everything, like I said, but basically I ended up accidentally like manifesting a light orb, and like hundreds of little tiny light orbs came from the space, like fucking about a foot, like about a volleyball, and they all centered on one spot. And then it and then I got really excited, and the moment I got excited, it just basically deformed, and it went from this hundreds of little orbs moving from this outside spot to a center point, and they all formed one orb. And then I got excited after looking at it, and then it just deformed the exact same way. And the moment it lost that singularity, it made a popping sound, and the neighbor's dog started barking. She saw the orb, heard it, and she is not into the occult, never really had occult experiences before. That kind of made me see how real shit was. From there, I actually I started playing more with energy in my body. I played with some in my heart, actually, and I had become capable of speeding and slowing down. At one point, I tried to strengthen it and, like, densify. Yeah, don't do that. Don't squeeze your heart really, really hard, because you can make bad things happen. You gotta be careful. I ended up having like weird pain and stuff for like that for a while from that. So I started learning how to deal with more energies to counteract that. Let's see here. About 2 years ago, I was doing energy with some woman. I was just having her feel my energy and stuff like that with some woman. And this time I did a different technique than normal. And the technique that I used, it ended up basically, when I did it on her, it wasn't like some hand shit. Like I was trying to do more of a direct I was trying to affect like her inner energy, her like innermost energy kind of thing, not just the outside. And she ended up basically passing out, and I had to catch her while she was falling. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then she kind of looked at me like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know shit. I just was playing with the energy basically and doing different formulas and different points in space. And yeah, that happened. And then I actually made it happen 2 more times after that, directly after it. I repeated it. I haven't been able to have that happen exactly with anyone just like that, but over the phone, I've done things remotely over the phone with people, talking with them, and I will just like basically do remote energy work over the phone, and it's kind of like talking to them, gives me something to adhere on to send my energy to basically. But during a time like that, I had been talking to another girl, and I was able to basically I was just on the phone like, all right, I'm gonna do this energy, and then she just was like, she went to sleep basically, and I had to start kind of yelling to wake her up and shit. And I've had some other experiences, other weird shit, synchronistic shit with mediums telling me similar things about like me having weird abilities and weird past life stuff. About a year or 2 ago as well, not long after that, the situation making a woman pass out, I had gotten really angry at my parents one time. I was arguing with them, and I was outside, and I was like trying to sleep in my car and shit on the side of the road, and I could feel the power lines, and it was irritating me, and I like just sent out this like hateful ass energy towards the power lines. It didn't do shit, but once I started going to sleep, every time I drift off, this light post above me was flickering, and it did it twice, and then the third time, all the sky lit up around me, and it was like a bluish light. It looked like morning time for like a fucking second or two, and then I didn't know what happened basically, and I saw the power was off for a little while after that. Next day I talked to one of my buddies, and he said, you about the transformer exploding last night? And that's when I realized that's what fucking happened when I saw that light everywhere. So I'm pretty sure I had a part to play in that. I'm at like 8 minutes and 30 seconds now. I do not want to fucking have to remake this video, so I'm gonna just okay, no, I have to tell about the fucking alien ship first before I tell about the eye anomaly, because that's fucking crazy. And it looked just like the shit with the Phoenix lights, and I live in Arizona, and it was this V-shaped shit out in Tonopah, Arizona, location of where Bill Gates is actually going to be building the first smart city, and there's a giant power plant. But there was this huge like V-shaped aircraft flying. It flew goddamn like, fuck man, like not even a quarter mile away from my house, and it was what looked like not even a 1,000, maybe like 10 football fields high into the sky, not high at all, and it was flying directly over us all, and it was fucking huge. The aircraft literally looked like it was a good like football field and a half long, and maybe like a 3/4 of a football field wide kind of thing. It was a big ass V with multiple white lights flashing on it. Now as far as the eye anomaly shit goes, it was weird because the first time it ever happened, I was just chilling in my car, just smoking a bowl and stuff, and I had already been kind of feeling this weird entity attack, and it started about a year ago too, like around earlier this year. loud ass semi truck. Anyways, I was chilling in my car, smoking a bowl and shit, and I decided to myself, I want this thing that's around me that I can feel to just show itself. Like, I was getting irritated with it at that point, because it was like taking up my mental space to be feeling that all the time and stuff when I'm trying to live my normal life. And I was just like, show yourself, basically, in my mind. I'm speaking telepathically to it, and nothing really happened. I think I might have heard like a tap on the door or something, and I was like, all right, I gotta see this shit. And so I thought maybe if I took a picture, it would show something while it was around. And so I had the intention of showing itself, and then I took the picture, and that's when I started to see the shit on my eyes. And for months after, I tried to recreate it. I was not capable of recreating it at first, and it accidentally got recreated when I was in like a weird emotional state. I think it started off with a negative one, honestly, to tell you the truth. And then I started to see the thing just naturally happening, and then I started to think, oh, maybe this is tied to my emotions or something. And so then I tried to initiate do it the emotion way. It wasn't really working. And so then, like, I just started like thinking maybe it just has to do with like energy in my points in space. And so I would basically just kind of like bring energy up from my lower dantian and send it out through my eyes, and I'll send it out, or I'll just hold it there, basically. And that's when I started to see that I could make this shit happen. And it's just and that's the other thing, it's just in the pictures. I haven't made my eyes change in real life, as far as I know. But in the pictures, basically, I'll take a picture on my phone, and it happens more often for some reason whenever the flash is on, and I'll take the picture, and it'll be like my picture in my camera roll. There'll be duplicate images, and I sent some of them to Kinninigan. You might post them and stuff, but it's like there's a duplicate image on top of the normal, and it'll say original image and original shot and best shot. And that shit, my phone never did that stuff before, all of that weird stuff. I wanted to see the being or whatever, and it started doing that. And yeah, it's been basically like ever since I can do that now, like pretty much whenever and shit. And there's been multiple and that's the other thing, depending on like my mood, sometimes like if it's a more negative, it'll be black, or if it's the more positive, it's like yellowish. I have seen like gray before too. And another weird thing is it's usually forming this orb light is like gradients. If you've seen the pictures with the Kinninigan video, there's like slits, it's like lines, and it looks like a gradient profile almost. It's really fucking weird. But yeah, that's pretty much how it all started. I do think that he was right as far as it being some kind of entity attachment kind of thing, but I do think it may have turned into something more or something else, because I don't have to get into a negative ass, evil ass mind state or no shit to make it like happen necessarily. There have been times when I've been in that mind state and it just naturally happens, but I don't have to be in that, and I can be cooling out and make it happen now. Whereas at first it was just something that just kind of happened on its own. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of everything. I hope that this fucking video isn't too long for my memory and it actually uploads. Let me fucking just stop this shit right now while I'm ahead of the game. Yeah, if you got any questions or anything about anything, let me know in the comments. I'm willing to talk about this stuff. I feel like this stuff should be talked about by the human race. I feel like the human race should know what the fuck is going on and not just be fucking sitting on the sidelines blindfolded like the elites want you to. So yeah, if you want to talk about any stuff, if you got any thing you want to share with me, with your experiences, or just ask questions about mine, feel free to ask away and stuff. I'm an open book.